getting used to this now.
Yeah, I know. Gabby, where's
You ready to get started?
Yes, please.
Alrighty. Well, welcome everybody. Really appreciate everyone coming out tonight. This is so exciting for us. We're going to go through quick introductions and then open it up to you all. My name is Chris Graves. I'm Associate Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations at University of Delaware, working with our graduates from the university.
Good evening, everybody. So good to be back in Delhi. My name is Song Hoffman, and I look after the international missions part of the business at the University of Delaware. Welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Rick Andrews and I'm the Senior Associate Dean of Faculty in the Lerner College of Business and Economics, and I'm also a professor in marketing. I've been doing this for 30 years and I'm also responsible for international programs in the college.
Hello everyone, good evening and thank you for coming all the way. My name is Jamila Sheikh and I represent University of Delaware in the Indian subcontinent region. So I'm your first point of contact for students, parents, counselors and whoever would want to know about UD. Thank you, and I'll move on to the next thing.
Hello everyone. Very happy to be here in New Delhi. My name is Megan Hogan. I'm an Associate Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations at the University of Delaware.
Could we have a quick introduction about the university? Just
Sure.
you know,
All right. University of Delaware. How many of you actually know where Delaware is? All right. Delaware, United States of America has 50 states. And Delaware is actually the first state. So that's why our motto, one of our mottos is dare to be first. And University of Delaware has been dare to be first since 1743. And this is actually 33 years before the United States come into being as a country. As a matter of fact, you know, the 56 very important people who signed the Declaration of Independence, 3 of them graduated from University of Delaware. As of yesterday, we actually welcomed the largest, if not the biggest actually, the incoming freshman class in the history of University of Delaware. We are here to welcome you to know and learn more about University of Delaware itself. We are a land-grant, sea-grant, space-grant university at the highest level of research, Carnegie Research, Intensive Research University, level 1. And we have been actually offering research capacity and also many programs to undergraduate and then graduate students from all around the globe. As a matter of fact, we have more than 17,485 undergraduate on campus, and this record will be broken very soon. And we also have, on top of that, we have more than 4,000 graduate students on campus. So together we have more than 23,000 university students and undergraduate and graduate on campus. We have 7 academic colleges on campus. We are a STEM-focused university, and my colleague here, Dr. Andrews, will be actually talking a little bit more into the business side of things, and my colleague here, Mr. Graves, will be actually talking more about the engineering part of things. And then Megan will be talking more into the art and science. So there's already 3 colleges, but on top of that, we offer health science, and also we offer Earth, Ocean, Environmental Science, and also we have education and then Biden Institute of Public Policy. So together we have 7 colleges, and between those 7 colleges, we offer more than 150 undergraduate majors and over 110 minors, and then 110 graduate master level, and over 60 at PhD level. We have been actually welcoming a lot of Indian students on campus, both at graduate level and undergraduate level. It is in the strategic plan of the university that we're welcoming more Indian students. We like Indian students because the students coming in as strong academic background, and also they are having actually a really inseparable part of the community. So we would like to see more international students, especially Indian students on campus. So without further ado, please, we welcome your questions. So between all of us, we would like to actually paint a better and more full picture of the university. Fun fact, before you go home, remember that right now we're here for our alums, but we do have some really popular alums in the house. This house, I'm referring to the White House. So the current President of the United States and our beloved First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, President Joe Biden, both actually graduated from University of Delaware. Thank you.
Okay, Song must have already responded to most of your questions. She's already spoken about the Indian market and the Indian audience as an Indian student. So let's open the floor for the questions. Sure. आपके अगर सवाल हिंदी में भी हो आप पूछ लेना, मैं ट्रांसलेट कर दूंगी, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
What should rank you internationally? Is it constitute what's the rank of
Ranking?
ranking? Yes.
Yes.
On the U.S. news, we are ranked number 93 out of more than out of all the colleges and the universities that actually participate in the U.S. news ranking. That's actually back in this is for 2022. But many majors and programs we ranked top in the nation. That therefore actually top in the world as well. So you want to talk into the business part?
Yes, we also are ranked number 38 among public universities in the United States. We're a private school, and so we have a top 30 ranked MBA program, online MBA program, which we're very proud of. Also, our undergraduate programs are pretty highly ranked, tend to be in the top 20 or so in the country. So we feel like we're doing pretty well in the rankings, but there's always room to improve.
So it is cost effective studying in Delhi, University of Delhi.
Cost?
Cost effective.
Okay, so this cost actually depends on if it's an undergraduate program or a master's. At an undergraduate level, we have a tuition fee of $35,000 for a year, and master's level is $35,000.
$35,000.
Yes, for 1 year. But we also offer, scholarships to international students, which goes up to 50% of the tuition fee. Okay, so that's $18,000 is the highest that we offer at an undergrad level. For masters, it is per credit system where the fee differs from program to program.
It is 3 years or 2 years? Degree course.
She's asking about the duration of the course.
Okay, so if it's an undergrad program, then it's... Yeah.
So for undergrad, it's traditionally a 4-year program, and for a graduate master's degree, it's a 2-year program. And I'd like to just add on to Jamila, part of what's really special about this delegation here today is we're comprehensive across the university. So in terms of the affordability for the University of Delaware, our alumni play a critical role. They give back and help make the scholarships that Jamila was speaking to possible to ensure that there is access and affordability for students from across the world, and first and foremost India, to attend the University of Delaware in a cost-effective manner.
My question is addressed to Mr. You're in the center. What's your name? Sorry.
Rick Andrews?
Andrews, yeah. So Andrews, you said marketing, you said economics. So do you classify as a B school, a business school? Means, are you specializing? You're coming to India. So what's the objective to come to India? Means why? And
good question. We are here to expand our international enrollments first and foremost. I've spent a lot of time traveling in China in the last decade, and been there probably 20 times. And we have some very large programs with China, but since the pandemic and since the political situation has not been so good with China, we feel like this is a a great time for us to explore India. So this is my first time being in India, and I'm very happy to be here. But I certainly don't think it will be the last time. We're already talking about visiting India again next year, visiting 3 or 4 more cities, and trying to get the word out about University of Delaware. As far as what makes us unique among Indian students, we have strong business analytics in our college, data science and business analytics, where we've built an undergraduate major, Bachelor of Science. We have a concentration in the MBA program. We have a Master of Science degree in business analytics and information management. And those programs are growing rapidly. And we're observing that the Indian students are gravitating toward those programs. So that would be a great outcome for us if we can attract more Indian students to those programs and others.
Yeah, Chris, my question to you was, a lot of universities have been planning to open up campuses, they want to come to India. Like our Prime Minister wants everybody to come to India and to manufacture. So they want even education is going to be the thrust area. So are you planning in the future? Are you scouting for venues and tie-ups with the Indian universities here?
So this is my first time in India, and I'm very excited to be here. I would say that on this trip, we're trying to gather as much information as possible and explore every avenue for how we integrate our Indian students in the University of Delaware. And so exploring what those opportunities look like across the campus, as you heard Dr. Song speak to, with our 7 academic colleges, really unique academic offerings that we present at University of Delaware, and how we partner with Indian institutions and help ensure that students from India have successful outcomes at University of Delaware. We're going to explore all opportunities.
Yeah, Ms. Hoffman, the courses what you're offering, so you have for what, the fall, right? I mean, so when is it, like people are going to apply, what's the application procedure? How do you want students to apply from India for the undergrad courses?
The answer for undergraduate is now.
Okay.
Yes. So we have actually mainly 2 intakes, and then right now, as of now, that are happening in the US is actually the fall intake, which is the biggest intake. We also, on top of that, we have a spring intake that actually open for all the international students as well as domestic students. On top of that, we do have a summer intake as well, but mainly for international students that the curriculum-wise and I-20 preparation, visa preparation, I strongly recommend that a fall intake. However, we do have those 2 intakes, and then really it's actually now that the students need to be prepared to put in their transcript and put in their English proficiency test. So the reason why I'm saying is that this is a long process. It takes about 4 to 6 months. Not because the admission part actually takes long. It's actually really, if you put together all the documents, and then the assessment, the missions, and by the time you get your I-20 schedule and visa, as you just mentioned, with the embassy, it can take longer. However, on top of that, I would like to put my suggestion and recommendation for our international students, especially Indian students, because we do offer generous international scholarship as well, and it's a pot of gold that you want to actually get your hand in as soon as possible. That it's a first come, first served basis. We are having actually text optional for the last few years, and I believe most of the scholars and students actually coming from India that I've seen so far are really as a good academic standing. And so I am not actually a firm believer of standard tests, so that's why with the accessibility issue and also inclusive issue, I really would like to see more students on campus, and we would not actually let anything as a dismal thing as a standard test actually stop that.
Yeah, my last question before the other friends want to ask is, just one, the continuation. Jamila, you talked about scholarships, right? So anybody who's sitting here or anybody wishing to go there, so what kind of scholarships do you offer? Till what is the, monetary, how do you support them? And is it because of academics or is it due to some other reason? What's the way out?
Sure, thank you for that question, sir. So we typically at an undergraduate level have merit-based scholarship and diversity scholarship. So, and that is completely on the scores of a student. So we evaluate the whole profile and accordingly give away scholarship ranging between $5,000 to $18,000. So if a student have a good SAT score, has somewhere around good scores in the 12th grade, we probably will give the student, depending upon the overall profile. So right from recommendation to, what is the graph been of that student from 9th to the 12th grade, and accordingly evaluate and give out that scholarship, which is split into two. One is merit-based and the other is diversity scholarship. The highest that a student can get in undergrad level right now is $18,000, as I mentioned. Also, there is something which is, as Chris mentioned, we have these generous alumni who help us with some donor amount, and then we can see if there are a couple of $1,000s more, and if the student is really good, we definitely support that, and that's how we take it on case-to-case basis.
Right, thanks.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can we have your
Sorry, just add on one of those. It's undergraduate only, but postgraduate level, we have very generous research, teaching, and graduate assistantship. As a matter of fact, over 80% of the students coming in at graduate level are enjoying some kind of assistantship.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Avriti from News and Visited, and my question is to you that which are the popular courses mostly opted by the Indian students in your university?
University of Delaware has been hosting international students for decades, ever since we opened our doors, and so more than decades. And we actually follow the pattern of IAE, that we host most of the students coming from internationally, focusing on engineering and business. But so Indian students actually follow those patterns too. So we see, because we offer a suite of business, international business, finance, business analytics, and information management, and also hospitality, which is very popular among Indian students. And on top of that, for engineering, we have traditional civil engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, and we also have a new environmental engineering, cyber security engineering, and also, of course, did I mention computer science? Yes, and biomedical engineering, very popular among Indian students.
Hello ma'am, this is Pawan Jinendra, journalist. I just want to ask you how many courses you have and how many numbers of students, Indian students you have currently.
So, as Dr. Song mentioned earlier, there are over 150 undergraduate degree courses across all 7 colleges at University of Delaware, and then currently just over 200 Indian students at the undergraduate level.
Thanks.
पूछिए हिंदी में पूछिए और ट्रांसलेट करें।
एजुकेशन है जो धीरे धीरे बिजनेस बनते जा रहा है, उन पे इनका क्या व्यू है इनका?
Okay, he's asking that education nowadays actually is turning into a business. So what are your views on that?
Good question.
That is a good question, and there's truth in that, obviously. I think University of Delaware is unique, and you see it by the representation here on this panel. One of our other colleagues was here on the early part of our trip from our Center of Global Programs and Scholars, and actually had to return to Delaware because classes started this week. And so we take a truly comprehensive approach to not only our Indian students, but our international students overall. How do we support them from their time in high school, application, transitioning to Delaware, through their academic careers, and then ultimately into their careers as alumni, and supporting our students moving forward as the cycle begins again. So there is truth in that. Absolutely, we take a comprehensive approach to ensure that it's not just a business, that there's success for all students.
I would add to that, as a dean in the College of Business, that there are definitely aspects of business involved in the running of the college. For example, I manage 150 faculty in the college, and so I need to understand principles of leadership and organizational behavior. I need to understand marketing if we're going to, make a strategy for how we're going to reach certain student groups. I need to understand accounting because there's a budget to be managed, and so on it goes. So we definitely incorporate business skills into the running of the academic programs, but one thing that we never compromise on is the quality of the instruction. That's number one in our minds, is that the students come first, and we would never compromise on student quality in order to save money or to make extra money.
Ma'am, can I ask you one question?
If I could add to that answer, I would echo everything that Rick and Chris said, and add that a large part of what Chris and I do is to secure resources to support the university's nonprofit mission. The revenue that we take in doesn't support the full cost of enrollment and helping students get an education. So this past year we raised over $100 million from our alumni, from our friends. And that's really important because that means that the vision that we have to keep providing the best education possible that people like Rick provide, we can keep doing that. And that's a big part of why we're here at India. We want to create the community with our alumni and help them see impacts at the university, just like our other donors.
Your method of teaching, it will be very extraordinary.
Sorry, sir?
The teaching method of teaching is very extraordinary.
आप यूनिवर्सिटी के बारे में
Yes, University of Delaware has a unique positioning in the marketplace. There are schools that are heavily focused on academic research, and then there are schools that are heavily focused on academic teaching. And Delaware is right in the middle of that spectrum. As Dr. Song said, we're a Research 1 Carnegie classification research, so our faculty must publish their articles. It's something that we never compromise on. But at the same time, when I look at the faculty and their teaching skills, there are some really, really good teachers in our college. And I think that makes the university a good place to be for both students and faculty, because we adopt what I would call a teacher-scholar model or scholar-teacher model.
Thank you.
Yeah.
बात हुई है मैम, एजुकेशन की बात हुई है इस प्लेटफॉर्म में और बिजनेस की भी बात हुई है। इंडियन मार्केट को किस तरीके से देखते हैं, क्योंकि आफ्टर कोरोना बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट हो, बहुत सारे कॉलेज हो, मल्टीनेशनल लेवल की बात करो, बहुत सारी इवन कंपनीज हो, इंडिया की तरफ उन्होंने देखा है, इंडिया की तरफ रुख किया है उन्होंने। आप इंडियन मार्केट को किस तरीके से?
Okay. You want to translate?
You can go ahead and show up understood if you want to respond. Just I translate the question for you.
Yes.
So how do you see the Indian market, especially how open is the university for Indian students, especially after the pandemic? That is his question.
As of this morning, our first meeting is actually with some of the local partners and potential partners. What we would like to achieve is we know that some of the Indian students cannot afford the hefty tuition fee. So we would like to make our education, our very high quality education, more accessible to Indian students. So we are actually thinking more innovative way of delivering the quality education that we have. So that's including students can actually start here online, doing 2 years, and actually coming to University of Delaware to finish the degree, and then getting our degree, and that's actually at a really cost-effective way.
Hello, ma'am. I want to ask again question. Are you looking for?
Wait. You want to add something?
Yeah, that's my whole reason for being here, is that we can develop partnerships with academic universities in India. We call what Dr. Song mentioned the 2+2 agreement, which means they can study in India for 2 years at a much lower cost, and then transfer their credits to University of Delaware, study 2 more years, and then get a full bachelor's degree from the University of Delaware. And then there's all kinds of different variations on that as well. We've got a 3+1 program. We've got 4+0 programs. We've got master's degree 1+1 programs. So there's a lot of variations on this, and that's precisely why I'm here, is to identify those partner schools.
If I could just add one thing. So this is the first trip internationally for development and alumni relations since the end of COVID. I'm here representing the College of Engineering for many of the same purposes that Dr. Andrews is speaking to. This is the first trip internationally for the College of Engineering in that capacity since COVID. And so I think that's a strong demonstration of our commitment to students from India post-COVID.
My question was,
Yeah.
प्लेसमेंट इस तरीके से रहेगी, जो मतलब इंस्टीट्यूट होते हैं जो प्लेसमेंट्स भी देते हैं, तो इंडिया ओवरऑल इंडिया रहेगी, अब्रोड में भी।
Career opportunities and the placements that is being done.
So basically, we support students and we have different types of associations on campus. The career opportunities, there is a dedicated team which is called as Office of International Students and Scholars, who basically have a dedicated advisor for each student. And they work right from the time the student reaches campus in terms of helping them with interviews. We have career fairs on campus, and that's how they come and recruit. One fun fact about Delaware, we are a tax-free state. So that opens doors to a lot of Fortune 500 companies that have their offices, which helps the students to have, you know, jobs or internships. And also something to add on to this is, you know, the career opportunities is so vast. Even if you Google it, you will find that Delaware has more incorporations formed than the residents.
It is guaranteed.
So nothing is guaranteed as such. It depends upon the caliber of the student, I would say. But we are giving everything and we are supporting the student with everything. It depends upon the student, and that's how we have a very huge alumni network. And I would want Chris to say something about that.
लगभग मैम कितनी कंपनियों से टाई अप है आपका प्लेसमेंट और
How many companies we have a tie-up as in come and recruit on our campus and alumni number?
That's a good question that I unfortunately don't have the exact answer to. Our alumni do play a critical role in the placement and the recruiting. We have alums and students hired at all of the top companies, names that you would clearly recognize, from JP Morgan Chase, Amazon, Facebook, Google, Apple, Waters, Millipore Sigma, Merck, on and on and on. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And so there are outstanding career placements for north of 95% of our graduates. Our alumni play a critical role in that. They are the students that have come before, demonstrated their ability, and had success with these companies to the point that they come back and recruit at University of Delaware.
हिंदी में जवाब दे सकते हैं?
हाँ जी, पूछिए।
कोई अगर गरीब घर का लड़का कोई अगर कॉन्टेक्ट करता है आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी से, तो आप उन्हें किस तरह से मदद करेंगे?
Okay, I'll just translate. If there's someone from the underprivileged background, if someone contacts you, how do you respond to it?
Sure. So, thank you for that question firstly. Thank you for that question again. So, जहाँ तक गरीब घर का सवाल है सर, जैसे मैंने कहा कि अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ बहुत सारी देते हैं हम. हमारे पास एक ऑप्शन है अंडर प्रिविलेज के लिए, जैसे अभी इन्होंने कहा 2+2 का. So 2 साल यहाँ करें और फिर 2 साल यूएस में. ओके, दैट इज़ वन ऑप्शन. सेकेंड ऑप्शन ये है कि हम एक डायमंड चैलेंज एक ऑप्शन है उनके लिए, जिसमें स्टूडेंट अकेडमिकली अगर बहुत ब्रिलियंट है, मतलब बहुत अच्छा है अकेडमिकली, तो एक प्रोसेस होता है, एक बेसिकली एक कंपटीशन के तरीके का है वो, जहाँ पे जो ट्यूशन फी है, इनफैक्ट जो पूरा 1 साल का कॉस्ट है $55,000, उससे ज़्यादा वो स्टूडेंट को मिलता है फॉर दैट कंपटीशन. बट अगेन बहुत कम लोग यू नो उस पर आ सकते हैं, क्योंकि ओवरऑल ग्लोब से इतने सारे लोग उसके लिए अप्लाई करते हैं, हार्डली आई थिंक 3 या 4 लोग वहाँ तक पहुँच सकते हैं. बट और एड ऑन करने के लिए जैसे मैंने कहा कि 2+2 इज समथिंग जो वो देख सकते हैं. ओके, आई विल पास इट ऑन टू डॉक्टर सॉन्ग फॉर हर कमेंट्स.
So each year in March and April, we have a very high quality competition on campus that actually found our applications coming from all over around the world. And out of 120 that's highly selected candidates, we pick quite a few, actually giving them higher scholarship. One of the highest scholarship that we call is actually DuPont scholarship, and Chris will talk into why because it's called DuPont. But DuPont scholarship is actually designed for students from the really high academic background, and it's actually covered in the full cost. It's what we call full ride scholarship, valued at $58,000. And I have actually had the privilege to work with quite a few African countries. And in the past few years, we actually offered quite a few to African countries, including Ghana, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. So, Chris, would you like to talk more about DuPont?
Absolutely. So, in addition to being around for nearly 250 years, beyond the founding of the United States, we happen to be founded in the backyard of DuPont Company, which really started the legacy of philanthropy and giving back that Megan spoke to. And that philanthropy ensures that we do have upwards of $100 million that we seek to raise each year to provide opportunities from all economic backgrounds. And the DuPont family was one of the very first generous benefactors to University of Delaware. That tradition has sustained up to this day to ensure that as many students as possible who meet the academic requirements, that financial ability is no barrier to receiving a University of Delaware education.
So according to you, what makes the University of Delaware unique?
I can start. How much time do you have? All right. So yes, a lot of high quality institutions and public institutions, especially on the East Coast, sharing a lot of similarities. But the one point I would like to make is from a UD parent's point of view. I'm a UD mom. I have a student, I have a son actually currently studying biomedical engineering second year. And the thing that as an international admissions officer that's very hard for me to sell or to promote is the warm and fuzzy feeling that you feel you belong and you're part of something big. And this is something that I would like to share with our incoming international students, especially Indian students. I would like to share this experience as a UD mom and a UD grad myself, that we do care. We have a very tight community on campus. I mean, on the way here, I was answering emails that some of our international students' parents are emailing us saying that, oh my goodness, I have a hard time leaving my child here. And our colleague just jump on the opportunity to offer all kind of help from mental healthness to actually academic support and also community building. So this is something that I would like to start you with, and I would like to share this. I would like my colleague jump in.
Yeah, I'll just add very quickly. You hear that University of Delaware is ranked in the top 100, the top 40, number 38 for public institutions. I think there are two other aspects that make University of Delaware really unique relative to those other institutions. One is our location. We are within 2 hours of 4 major cities: Washington, D.C., the capital of the United States, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, the financial center for not only the United States, but in many ways the world. I think the other unique aspect of University of Delaware are the 7 colleges and programs that we offer that really allow for our students to explore ways to address the grand challenges like climate, like energy, like the environment, like finances, that really distinguish the university from some of our peers in similar rankings.
Thank you.
There's more.
Can we just have the last question and then we'll start a one-to-one interaction?
Academic session कब शुरू होगी?
बस अभी.
बस just last one question.
Last question, then
When your academic session will start?
So this is the last question, and then we'll
Yeah.
start the one-to-one interactions that will be done by the team. So please go ahead with your
Hello. Yeah. Hi. That's not working. My question about you talked about DuPont, right? So DuPont family, since they've kind of funded the university, so do they help in the placement? What my friend asked, and then about we want to know, like, what's your fee structure, and once you. Do we have any teaching professors there from India? And who are the other alumni? Means other than your president, the president, US president. So who's the Indian alumni we could identify with?
Sure. So the first question around DuPont, yes, absolutely. DuPont hires. They used to historically hire chemical engineers. Now mechanical engineers have surpassed in their hires. So yes, without a doubt. We have prominent Indian alumni in a variety of companies: Waters Corporation, Facebook, ExxonMobil, a number of corporations that you would name and recognize. You want to speak to the fee structure?
Yes. So our tuition at undergraduate level range from $35,000 to $40,000 per year. Business and engineering slightly more expensive because the investment we have to make on the.
They stay in the campus? Do they stay in the campus?
Stay in campus actually is about $15,000 and with fees and medical insurance, all those. So our I-20 amount ranging from, basically it's $55,000 per year. However, I would like to add that we offer really generous international student scholarships.
Okay. And what about the alumni? Any Indian alumni? Have Indians already, have they studied any prominent, we have big Indian families, no? So anybody
Yes,
is there?
we have Indian alumni at corporations, like I said, like Waters Corporation, like
Yes.
ExxonMobil, like Facebook, JP Morgan Chase. We have Indian
Not in the
alumni.
Fortune 500 of Indian companies. We
Oh,
don't
in that-
have any Indian heading. I wanted to know if any Indian is heading a Fortune 500.
In India.
Yeah, in India. And do they have they studied there or their children? You know, you have programs where see the management people, they send in their children, you do have those programs. Do you have such programs? Where students, you know, if I was supposed to be running a company, then I could take a program. It's an exchange program or it's an advanced, you know, business to business. It's a business program. You're following me.
Like exchange you're talking about?
Yeah, exchange also, and even like suppose Infosys.
Okay.
Infosys we have today here, and so these guys they've studied. Their children are studying abroad. So means have anybody? We want to know.
So, sir, in terms of alumni, as you were asking, if there is any famous Indian alumni who has, you know, accomplished something. So we have a network of around 700 odd alumni across India, in country. And as far as any one specific, I mean, I met alums in Hyderabad and Bangalore, and most of them are very closely working with certain government policies. There's someone who's working into some energy renewable things, sustainability, and all of that. But as you said, Infosys and that kind of a program, I think we're just starting off with that 2+2, which will lead us eventually there
Right.
with our alums.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Can we start the one-to-one interaction? Start कर लो. तो आप एक-एक करके आए.